Thank you for calling Irish Water Customer Service. Please note your call may be recorded for quality and training purposes. For service in English, please press 1. Please choose from one of the following 4 options. Press 1 if you are calling regarding metering in your area. Press 2 for fault and water supply issues. Press 3 for discharge to sewer licences. Press 4 for customer applications, allowances and general queries. Press 1 to complete an application. Press 2 if you are a landlord with multiple properties. Press 3 for all other queries. A guide to completing the application form, frequently asked questions and tips on water conservation are available online at www.water.ie.
Thanks for calling Irish Water. Application for a loan sign. My name is how can I help?
Good afternoon, how's it going? I just had a couple of general queries for you. Do you know where Irish Water are sending out these application packs at the moment? Where would Irish Water have gotten the details for the names and addresses on those?
Public sector sources.
Which would be like other, like what's public sector sources? Would that be like the electoral roll and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, like I couldn't tell you. I don't even know all we're, just public sector source, and that's all the information we're given as, the frontline staff. I tell you if I could, but that's all we're.
So would that, right? If you can't help me, that's fine. Maybe if I just explain the query, and you could maybe ask somebody else who might know. But it's public sector, so what I get from that is like information that is available in the public. It could be the electoral register and things like that. But then they're confused then because the letters are addressed to the occupant. But if you have access to the information, then why isn't it addressed to the name of?
Some letters are being sent out as the occupants, alright. For whatever reason. Are you renting a property, or is the property? Do you own the property?
Well, it's kind of irrelevant. I'm just kind of asking questions about.
Oh yeah, no, it's just that in some cases there wouldn't be. It would just go out. Some letters will go to the occupier, especially for properties that are being rented, because landlords would, they wouldn't want their names on it, so that the bill.
So could you maybe find out where they're getting that information from? Because I do understand that it's personal data. I know Irish Water is set up by the government, so you probably have more rights to that information than maybe Coca-Cola or some other companies. But I'm just curious where they're getting that information from. And
I can put you on hold, and I can see, can I find out? But look, I have no problem asking, but I'll put you on hold there, and I'll find out there if I can for you. Yeah, no problem.
Can I just ask you one or two more things quickly, just to save you going back?
Yeah. Yeah.
The ones that have only occupants on it, you're sending out application packs and it's looking for more information off people. Is that why the application packs are there? Because you need the names and addresses and the PPS?
Well, see, the thing is, do you have like your application pack in front of you there now?
No, I don't have it.
Well, on the application pack there, where like the little piece at the top where it says the occupier and the address.
See, well, I wouldn't open a letter that was addressed to an occupier because.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
it's not addressed to me, so technically, legally, I'm not supposed to open that, would be my understanding. This is why I'm kind of confused. If you're a government body that has access to public records, why isn't it addressed to me? And if it's not addressed to me, I wouldn't open a letter like that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, you see, like, if you did open the letter, for example, now, down the end of the first page, there'd be a thing there called the supply address, and if the supply address was where you were living, they'd want to know details about you then if you're living in that property, because you'll be using the water on that premise. You'll be paying for the bill.
Well, okay. I'll run through this with you really quick, and if you feel you need to go and check with someone, that's fine. What I want to know is, what information does Irish Water have about their customers? How did they get the information? And how do they intend to use that information once they have it? Because there's letters coming out to houses that aren't addressed to the people who live in those houses, and those letters are basically trying to get people to be customers with them. So to me, that's like spam. That's like spam mail. Me just I'm a company, I'm going to send out letters to everybody and say, hi, give us your details, you're now my customer. So I want to know what information you have about Irish citizens, where did you get that, and how does Irish Water plan to use that? Because at the moment you're using it for direct marketing.
Yeah, no problem. I'll have a look into that there now. So I'll just pop you on hold, right?
Yeah, take as long as you need.
Hello?
Hiya.
Yeah, they're saying that the letters are sent out to the actual properties, you know, that not to the, like, to the, so, like, it's actually, it should be addressed to, like, you know, if you don't know the name of the person, you know, it's still sent to the premise, if they don't know the name of the person occupying the premises.
But that's what but they just have a list of all the addresses, and they're just kind of, you know, I get emails sometimes of people asking me for details like that, and I don't trust them because they're saying they're from Nigeria and they're some of the prints and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this feels like to me, because
yeah.
I don't know.
No, in terms of the public sector sources that the information is coming from, I just asked a superior there to say that information isn't available. You know, obviously if I had it, I'd give it to you, but I don't even know myself.
You don't even know where you're getting the information from, so you could be getting it from Nigerian prints for all I know.
Well, it's public sector sources, that's all I can say, you know, but
did you see what I'm getting at, though? You know,
I know where you're coming from, like, but you know,
don't go on TV, don't listen to the radio, I don't really know what's going on. And I hear people talking about these letters coming in the door, and I'm curious to go, well, how are these letters coming? How did they have the details? Because I'm thinking about data protection as well. And say if I was to write to you, or if somebody was to write to you under the Data Protection Act, and say, under this section of the Data Protection Act, I think it might be Section 7, I'm writing to you to request that you remove from the database. What does Irish Water have to do then?
What does your what? Oh, what's Irish Water?
Irish Water in that circumstance.
Oh, like, I tell you, I literally, the line you're on to here now, I just do the applications online, you know. Any questions like that should, you know, they should be sent to, there's a customer service. I'll try and answer as much questions as I can for you, I just do the applications online.
No, I did this with the customer service. I said,
hello?
Applications or any other, yeah, I can hear you perfectly. It said applications or any other queries come through to this. I worked in call centre for a long time. I was where you were. I used to work for another energy supply company in a call centre. I know exactly, relate to exactly the position you're in. If there's somebody there who can help or is in a superior position, they'll probably give out to you for even asking them to come on the phone. But I'm happy to speak to someone who can answer my question, because the way I look at it is, I'm on Irish Water. This is who I need to speak to get these answers. I don't know who else I can ask.
Yeah, like, any questions like that, like, it'd be customer service at water.ie, and then they'd ring you back.
Well, I did do that before, and I never got a phone call back.
Did it get onto it at all, no?
Just going back a couple of months now, and it was a different issue, and then it just kind of took so long that I just, you just let things go on the long finger, and then you never pick it back up again. So,
yeah.
Do you have a policy there that your management won't speak to customers on the phone?
I don't think there's no one around, actually. Like, I could try and get someone on. Hello?
Yeah, you spoke to someone a moment ago there, yeah.
That was just he wouldn't be a manager. If I took your number even there, and I could get, if there's someone available to give you a call back.
Do you know, I prefer not to do that. I don't really like giving you more details, that I need to give. And it's nothing personal to you. It's just, I'm not the only one who's thinking this. I'm not the only one who's thinking these questions. Like, so from your side of things, you're telling me that you get the information from public record, public sector, and what does Irish Water intend to do with that information?
With that information,
yeah.
Well, they got that information to obviously send the packs out to the application packs out to each
no
house.
Obligation on anybody to fill that application pack in, is there? Really, in law. It doesn't say in the legislation, as far as I know, that you're forced, that you have to put it in. It's a request.
Again, that's up to you. I were told, like, you know, fellas will just get billed anyway, you know, as I said, no, you know, I'm at the bottom of the line here, like, you know, but if you don't fill out what I'm led to believe, if people don't bother filling out the application, they'll still get a bill anyway, an estimated bill, but...
The occupant, but that's not a real person. It's like, you can't bring... Somebody needs to step forward and accept liability. That's what the purpose of the application pack is. You know what I mean? You cannot have a commercial agreement with somebody without there being an agreement.
Yeah. So, well, if you want, yeah.
Bills are coming, let's say 6 months a year down the road, and bills are coming out, and they're not addressed to me, or they're not addressed to people, and they're from a company that I have no business with in the first place. I don't help them. Then what Irish Water are saying, they're threatening people that they're going to turn the water down for a trickle, which I don't think they even have the potential. They don't have the technology to do that. That's the threat. And they're going to turn that, and then they're going to bring me to court to collect that debt. But I never had a contract with you in the first place. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you have a case, all right, maybe, like, but you know, as I said, you know, the only thing I can do for you know at the moment is if you want to take your number, I try to get someone with the answers to give you a call back, because as I said, you know, most questions like that go through customer care.
No,
sorry?
Now you're only told so much, and you're told your scripts and training, and these are the clues. I know that. But what is the best way for me to deal with this, in your own opinion? Would it be better for me to get you to call me back, or should I email the...
Well, if you didn't want to give out your details, definitely, if you emailed customer service at water.ie.
At water.ie. Because I think that would be better, because then at least I will be able to... explain exactly what I'm saying in the series.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You'll be explaining, and you know, it might be lost translation to me. Okay, so just to clarify, the information that you have so far is coming from the public sector. You're sending application forms out to get more information, and even if people don't fill them in, they're going to attempt to deal with people.
Yeah.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thanks for your help. I hope it's be difficult.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Protection, can I help you?
Good afternoon. I just have a general query for you. I hope you can help me, or maybe transfer me through to somebody. It's just about the Irish Water Company. I'm curious, what's the data protection stance with regards to the information that they have on the customers, how they obtain that information?
Yes, there's a legal basis under which they can collect the information.
It's from the Water Services Act.
Like, do you mean about collecting? The Water Services Act.
I want to know, where would they obtain that information, and is there an obligation on me as a private citizen to provide them with further information?
Such as?
Whatever they're requesting in an application form.
Well, in order for them to collectively bill you for your water, you need to provide them with the information that's requested.
But is there an obligation on me as a private citizen to provide that information?
If you don't complete it, you will be billed. There'll be a standard charge.
Yeah, but I'm going to be billed either way. But what I'm saying is, they're sending out application packs.
Yeah.
What is the legal consequence for not filling that in, aside from they're going to bill you either way?
Well, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. I would only be able to tell you the data protection implications. Like under that, you know, the Water Services Act was that was put in place for the process and collection of the data.
You know? Okay. So at the moment, my understanding, and I could be completely wrong in this, is that they got their information that they have at the moment from other public records, the electoral roll, or the tenancy board and things like that, which gave them the addresses in the first place. And they're sending that out. So they're sending out application packs to people who are going to be their new customers. To me, this is a form of direct marketing because it was unsolicited mail, and it's regarding a product or a service.
Well, it is because it's...
Well, how would you define direct marketing?
Well, you see, this is a charge. Like the setting up of Irish Water, that's a government matter. And the legal structure for it, including the collection of the water, that was signed into law in the Water Services Act.
Yeah.
So there's a legislative basis for sending this out. Like, they're not just using a list to direct market people. They are sending out the forms in order to collect
data in order to
and to collect the water charge
that they'll have, because it is a company and it is a customer, so there is a commercial contractual side. But really what I wanted to get to is in the Data Protection Act, my understanding of it is if I write to a company that has my data and I make an explicit written statement to them saying I do not want them to have my data or to use my data and to remove it from their database, is it true that they're obliged to do that? If they
but that's for what you're talking about is for the purpose of direct marketing.
If they're using it,
like, this is not marketing. This is for the purpose of collecting a charge.
Well, how is it not marketing? Just sending unsolicited mail.
Well, they're not trying to sell you something.
It's not addressed to me. It's addressed to an occupant.
Sorry, I'm losing you there. You're breaking up. Sorry.
I was just saying that it's not addressed to me as an individual. It's not addressed to me. It's an occupant. That is. Do you know what I'm saying? They require. It seems to me that they require my further details in order to even bill me. What name are they going to put on the bill? Occupant. Do you understand? So I'm wondering, do I have a legal obligation to provide my private details to an entity that wants to have a commercial relationship with me? And even if I was to write to them, to go back to the direct marketing thing, and say, I don't want you to send me any more of your marketing, and they don't think that it is direct marketing, don't they have an obligation to then write to me and explain to me what information they have and all of the intended purposes for the use of that information?
Well, you would be entitled. Yes, you would be entitled to know. You know,
there's a legal obligation on not just Irish Water, on any company. Like, I could write to Coca-Cola and I could say to them, look, I believe you have information on me. If you have it, you must remove it, or tell me why you're keeping it. Is that true?
That's right, yeah.
So if people were to write a letter to Irish Water on those grounds, then what standing would Irish Water have to take any action against the people as private citizens who are also protected under the Data Protection Act? There seems to be, to me, a contradiction in the two acts.
Yeah, but you see, while the structure's in place for them to collect the data and to use it obviously can only be used in certain ways. They can't just use it for anything. That, you know what I mean? The purpose of it is for the collection of the charge.
Looking at their data protection notice, it would lead me to concern, and I know the Data Protection Commissioner has been concerned about the wording of their data protection notice, which suggests that they're not just going to use it for the bill. If they are trying to bill a premises, then they only need the premises. Okay, they don't need to have in their data protection clause that they're going to use my information and possibly give it to third parties and outside of the European economic community. So this is worrying to me as a consumer, as a citizen, as a private individual. This is
worrying. There isn't an issue from that, like transferring abroad, including outside the EA. There's no data protection issue that, provided it's done under contractual arrangements, which obliges the organisation outside the EA to handle the data in line with EU data protection requirements.
Okay. So are you telling me that two companies that I have nothing to do with and might not even have knowledge of the fact that they have my information can go into a contract with each other to trade my information, so long as that contract is valid, what they're doing is okay?
No, what I'm saying to you is, if a company was to transfer your data outside of the EA for a particular reason, if there's a contract in place that contractually that that within that contract it obliges that organisation to handle it in line with data protection requirements.
What say do I have in that if it's my data? Like, is it not sort of a property issue here in the sense that that's my information? I don't want Coca-Cola giving that information.
Yeah, but I can only tell you from a data protection point of
view. I'm
not
talking about it from a data protection point of view. It's my data. I want it to be protected, and I don't trust...
Yeah, but there's nothing to say it's not protected if it's done in line with a contract which obliges the organisation to handle it in line with data protection.
I'm not a party to that contract. I'm not a party to that contract, so they're going to be taking something that is mine and trading it amongst themselves, whatever agreement they have. I'm not disputing whether that agreement is valid or not under EU law, but it's against my consent, and I feel it's an infringement of my privacy. Where do I stand in these situations?
Well, that would be, I mean, you know, that's a different, you're looking at it from a different angle than from a data protection point of view. I mean, our job is to make sure that stuff is, you know, that it's done, and it's done in line with the data protection rules. But whether or not, you know, from a privacy point of view or under the Constitution that this can be done, that's something that's outside of our remit. Yeah. Like, our remit is just to make sure that the data is protected, that it's collected, you know, that it's collected for the right purpose.
It's used in the right way, but how...
Yeah, exactly, and that regardless of where it's stored, that there is something there still to protect, that data, you know. So
the Data Protection Commissioner is satisfied so long as those procedures are being fulfilled, regardless of the will of the individual. So it's like the data isn't actually being protected for the individual, it's just the data itself is being protected, is that right? The individual kind of, that's just a secondary thing that it happens to relate to them.
Well, from a data protection point of view, like as I said, if any type of personal data, which obviously would be what you're concerned with, and that's what we deal with, is protecting personal data. So if we were aware that an organisation is transferring data to, you know, outside the EU to another country for a purpose within the organisation, once that would have to be done within certain perimeters.
Yeah.
To make sure that data was still protected.
I appreciate
and that is our function in...
That's your remit, yeah.
That's our remit in protecting it, not so much in deciding whether it can be done or it can't be done, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but like, it kind of adds fuel to the fire when you're reading in the newspaper that the Data Protection Commissioner has gotten on to Irish Water about this and has expressed concerns about the wording of that. So if that's the Data Protection Commissioner expressing those concerns, I don't trust this company, and there's nothing that's happened with this company that give me any reason. So why should I give them my data? I don't want them to have my data. I don't want them to know who I am. I don't want to do business with them. And if that's a legal matter, well, I've read the legislation. There doesn't seem to be any consequences for this, legal consequences on me, except that Irish Water can take me to court and recover the debt as a contract debt. They take me to court and say that, I'm going to say, show me the contract. Doesn't exist. It doesn't matter what the legislation says, because that only allows for so much. It doesn't create obligations on the people. They can't force you to sign something. So my concern is, if they have my data and I write to them saying I'm not happy about this and I want you to stop using my data for commercial means, and to contact me and asking me for my information in order to create a commercial agreement with me, is commercial. I don't want that from them. So if I write to them and say I don't want your correspondences anymore, I want to be taken from your database.
No.
I just want to finish this really quick. Would I be right in saying that they have two kind of choices there? They have to respond in any case to say, this is why we're using your data. It's not for direct marketing. We're using it for X, Y, and Z purpose, and it's lawful because of this legislation. And they have to back that up. Is that right?
They would have to explain to you. Yes. Like you're entitled to know what you're asking me there, on what basis they're collecting your data, why they have your data there, and what use is going to be made of it.
And if I'm not happy with that, where do I stand?
Well, honestly, I can't tell you because that's something outside of data protection. Like.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, like you're looking at it more from a legal angle now as to what.
Well, it's all
like they have collected. Like the decision to collect the charge and the setting up of Irish Water for the purpose, it was the government that made that decision.
I understand.
And then the legal structure was in place to allow it, was the Water Services Act. You know, and by putting that in place, it has the effect of it sort of sets aside the restrictions that would otherwise apply from a data protection point. Now, other people's concern might be the PPS end, but there is government legislation there which allows for that as well.
Yeah,
the Social Welfare and Pensions Bill contains a provision which authorises Irish Water to use the number.
To be honest, I think a lot of the confusion has come here because of the way that they've drafted that piece of legislation, because it isn't a charge, really, it's not, and it's not a contract debt. There isn't a contract. They shouldn't be calling it these things, and that's what I think is confusing. It's a tax. That's what it is, and that's why there's no, the consent to people it doesn't come into it, because it's a tax, and they're dressing it up as a charge, and they're calling it a service. But it's a tax.
Yeah, but that's a matter you need to take up with government.
Yeah, I know. I know that's not for you. I'm kind of just.
Yeah. No. I understand. I do appreciate your concerns and what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from in relation to it, but a lot of your concerns are more in relation to Irish Water itself and the government's decision to set it up. Like, obviously, we're only here to deal with the data protection element of it.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. But the reason I rang is because I was on to Irish Water just previously, and they didn't really, they're not really informed themselves. I think there's a lot of confusion here. There's especially confusion on the ground with the ordinary guy in the street, and people aren't happy with what's happening, and I know it's nothing to do with you, but people like myself, like trying to find out what's going on and trying to do something about it.
And when you rang Irish Water, what were you told?
Well, I was literally told I'm just on the front line. I don't really know the answers to these questions, and that they obtained their data from public records. I said, which public records? You didn't know.
Okay. And did you have a look on the website? Is there anything on that?
Oh, I have looked at the website, the Data Protection Act and things like that, but it says in the legislation...
No, but on Irish Water's website, have they got any... Is there anything on that would clarify it a bit more for you?
Well, that's what I'm talking. They do have a data protection notice on their website. But when I looked at it, they don't have to disclose. None of these bodies have to disclose the other public bodies that they got the information from. So they don't have to say, oh, we got it from the PRTB, or we got it from this. There's no obligation on them to do so. So all we told as citizens or whatever is that we...
and did you have a look at? Sorry, no, I'm just trying to guide you to places where I might. I know in Section 26 of the Water Services Act. Did you look at that?
Yeah, they
that there list some of the entities.
Yeah, it lists the entities, and at the bottom of relevant persons, the bottom of it says customers. But I thought that, to me, I'm into the law. You might have gathered that from the way I was speaking. I look at the words of the statute, and it says they are empowered. They may request information from certain but a request can either be fulfilled or rejected without any legal consequence. It's not an order. Anyway, I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but like you've helped me out with what I needed to know, and I'll go ahead and I will send the notice to that to Irish Water anyway and see what they come back with, because I think that I don't really know what else to do.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want to send us something in with your concerns, we can maybe try and piece something together for you as well. But obviously our angle would be from the data protection angle.
I completely understand that. I might actually CC the Data Protection Commissioner on anything that I send to them of this nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
That they'll know that you know as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's your own name?
My name is... Your email will come to info at
yeah.
dataprotection.ie.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thanks very much for your help.
Okay, no, but I'll try to come in more help to you. Okay, thank you. Bye.